Yep, hi. Just waiting. Just gotta, yep. Oh, hey Jess, yep. Hang on, what did it say? I was halfway through your crash outfit. There's not gonna be a quiz on it, or was there? Okay, anyway. Anyway, let's get stupid. So, I don't even fucking care. Let's just get to it. Well, actually, I need to get the page ready first off. I guess that's a no. No, that has nothing to do with what the hell we're talking about tonight. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Welcome to Wonder After. Oh, onward for re-release. Anyway, although we're not talking about Onward tonight. No. Anyway, on to Lego 2. Lego 2. Okay. You seem a little melancholy. Yeah. You said you wanted it to happen. Well, yeah, but we're not talking about Onward tonight. Although I did say that. I did say that I want. Anyway, that's a story for another time, though. We're talking about a different Chris Pratt movie. Anyway, Dark After Welcome Wonder, and by that I mean Welcome to Wonder After Dark. Anyway, so to recap, oh yeah, we're talking Lego Movie 2. But before we get Homeward Hound, you mean? Who's event? Anyway, so we're talking the Lego Movie 2. But before we get to that, here's a little recap of the Lego verse up to this point. The Lego Movie from 2014. Nobody thought it was going to be good. Nobody expected it to be a hit because it was basically just a feature-length toy commercial. Contrary to literally everything ever, the Lego Movie not only ended up being a masterpiece, but also ended up being a gigantic commercial success to the point where it was practically the face of the Lego brand for a good couple of years. It's funny how that works out. How does Lego Movie 2 have a fresh rating? Short answer, I don't know. Long answer, the rest of this episode. Anyway, the Lego Batman movie from 2017. Not as critically or commercially successful as before, and in fact, I feel like it was written more for DC fans than for Lego fans, but still a great movie, even if you do have to be a bit more in the know on your Batman in order to really get much enjoyment out of it. The Lego Ninjago movie, it's mid. And it was the first box office disappointment of the franchise. The Lego Movie 3, the last part, coming to theater. Not as long as Universal has the rights. Although, after some news today, I could be proven wrong. But anyway, Lego equals mid. How about you go shut yourself in the dick with that statement? Anyway, on to Lego 2. They might do the Lego. I mean, might, but there's no guarantee. I'm not being cynical. I'm just saying it's a might. Oh my god. Anyway, cock and ball torture, but mentally speaking. Anyway, you said dick that. Yep. So shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Anyway, the Lego Movie 2, the second part, is a 2019. Yes, that company. Anyway, I'm trying not to get too distracted tonight, so if you remind me of... I don't know who that is. I'm not trying to sound rude, but you cannot just say shit like that and then expect me to know Randy Martin. No, Shut up. Anyway, the Lego Movie 2, the second part, is a 2019 animated adventure comedy film. Randy the Wild Horse. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That's what I just said. You can't just come on here and say stuff like that and expect me to know immediately who you're talking about. I know that I'm surrounded by everything, but seriously, I don't know what you're talking. Let's just move on. Directed by Mike Mitchell from a screenplay by... Okay, anyway. Yes, I do look like that, but please let me finish. Anyway. Directed by Mike Mitchell from a screenplay by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. The film, of course, is the sequel, the direct sequel, to the Lego Movie from 2014, but is the fourth installment in the franchise, counting the spin-offs Ninjago and Batman, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Whatever. Anyway. Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Arnett, Charlie Day, Alison Brie, and Nick Offerman all reprised their roles from the first film, with Tiffany Haddish, Stephanie Beatriz, and Maya Rudolph joining them. Chris Pratt again? Yeah, anyway. Taking place 5 years after the events of the previous... You can't... Yeah. Shut up. Taking place 5 years after the events of the previous film, it follows Emmett, played once again by Chris Pratt, Lucy, aka Wild Style, and their friends who travel to the Systar system to test their skills and creativity, while... No comment for that. No comment. That's not a yes, but it's also not a no. It's just I would prefer to keep it at this audience tonight. Okay? I'm sure your people are good people, but I don't want to end up screaming tonight. I'm not in a bad mood or anything. It's just... I'm sure you get what I'm trying to say. And I'm aiming this at both of you, actually. Okay, now you, Syl. I heard very little things about Lego Movie 2. I'll explain why you've heard very little in a minute. Anyway, while Emmett deals with a coming cataclysm known as Armageddon. Anyway. I mean, if you want him to come, but... Him specifically. If you want... I know I may have my moments, but still... I mean, to be fair, though, I don't know if he's available. But anyway. Sorry if I seem kind of at the moment. Anyway, back to the movie. Oh, yeah. Can I just say, Systar System and Armageddon. Can you see the pieces of this movie already starting to fall apart? Anyway. The film was produced by Warner Animation Group, Lego System, Rideback, Lord Miller Productions, Vertigo Entertainment, and Animal Logic, and was distributed by Warner Bros. What does it say? I actually never seen any commercials for it. I just seen it on the shelf one day in 2019, and it was like, wait, there's already a sequel? Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, that's what most people seem to remember, but anyway. The film premiered at the Regency Village Theatre on February 2nd, 2019. Then it premiered in Denmark February 7th that year. Then in the US a day later on February 8th. And then finally in Australia on March 21st. Around the world. And next to it was Kim Possible, the remake. Stay tuned. Yep. Anyway, the film had a budget of lots of trolls in debt. I don't know what that means. Anyway, that movie was trash, yeah. Anyway, the film had a budget of $99 million and made 199.6. Now that might sound like a big success, but you'll come to find out it wasn't. Plans for a sequel to the Lego Movie began in February 2000. A trash movie that somehow got a 100%. Pretty much. Like how? I don't know. Anyway, plans for a sequel to the Lego Movie began in February 2014 and were announced to be in the works 4 days before the release of the first film, which is typical for sequels. Anyway, it was announced that the film would be directed by Chris McKay, while Phil Lord and Chris Miller remained as writers and producers. The film has since undergone many changes. Oh, Lego Movie 2 coming out in 2019 shows how much. Pretty much. Anyway, the film had since undergone many changes, such as rewrites, directors, and release dates, with Mike Mitchell later being announced as the new director in February 2017. Yes, it got that far into production and then new director. And you wonder why Minecraft took 11 years. Anyway, production for the film began in October 2017, with the majority of the cast returning to voice in mid-2008. Mike Mitchell, too? That's funny. Anyway, along with the new cast. As with it, so a new director just erased it. I wouldn't say erased, more so put everything under new management. Anyway, as with all of its previous installments in the franchise, the animation was provided by Animal Logic. To improve on-screen detail, that's a red flag, yep. To improve on-screen detail and depth of field. The production of the film took advantage of the latest update to its trace renderer Glimpse. Mark Mothersbaugh, Animal Logic is a fitting name, pretty much. It is. Anyway, Mark Mothersbaugh, who composed the Lego Movie and Lego Ninjago, returned to compose the musical score with artists such... Oh, red flags are hard to see when you're... Normally I would get mad at that, but at least I haven't been hit with that in a while. Now, please don't. Anyway. Returned to compose the film's musical score with artists such as Mark Mothersbaugh. I want to say your mom. Yeah. Anyway. Your mom to that guy. Anyway, with artists such as Dylan Francis, Beck, Robin, and The Lonely Island performing new original songs for the film. And it's funny with all of those, they still couldn't fix it. Anyway, the film The Lonely Island. Remember, they were in the first movie too. Oh, that's right. I guess you haven't seen the first movie. Also, I loved them. Now I know. I don't think you've mentioned that before. I'm on a boat. Yep. Dick in a box. Anyway, that's the last joke I'm making. I'm on a boat. Okay. Fuck. Anyway. The film premiered in Los Angeles on February 2nd, 2000. Yep, jizz in my pants. Yep. The film... Jesus Christ. Anyway. The film premiered in Los Angeles on February 2nd, 2019. Like a boss. Yep. And was released in the U.S. February 8th. Now, although it received generally positive reviews from critics, its fan reception was not so kind. Talk to corporate like a boss, improve memo like, yes. Anyway, also counter 2. Okay, anyway. Don't worry, that counter is not going to get any higher. Anyway. Now, although the film received generally positive reviews from critics, its fan reception was not so positive. And then on top of that, despite grossing $199 million worldwide against a budget of $99 million, it became the franchise's second box office disappointment after Ninjago before it. And it was the straw that broke the camel's back, and the iceberg that sank the Titanic. Oops, yep. I think you already know where this is heading. Anyway, the marketing campaign... Okay, the marketing campaign for the movie cost $100 million. Promotional partners included Chevrolet, Chiquita, McDonald's, Discover Card, and Turkish Airlines. Like the Lego movie, Lego released a number of building toy sets based on scenes from the movie. Warner Bros. Released a Christmas short film titled Emmett's Holiday Party in December 2018. A video game tie-in was also released on various platforms in February 2019. Now, we'll talk about that video game tie-in soon enough, because I have thoughts. Maybe not the same thoughts as this movie, but thoughts. Anyway. Okay, what I was saying. Oh yeah, worth noting. It was initially scheduled to be released in the we'll cover the video game in this same episode after yeah, that's my intention. Anyway, it was initially scheduled for release in the US, the movie, not the game when I say this. It was initially scheduled for release in the US on May 26th, 2017, but was later pushed back to May 25th, 2018, then moved up to May 18th, 2018, and then finally pushed back to February 8th, 2019, dear God. It was so close to becoming the Duke Nukem Forever of movies. Yes, anyway. Alright. There we go. But what about that motherfucking reception? Well, on Rotten Tomatoes, 84% of 300 critic reviews are positive, with an average rating of 7 out of 10. 0 to 50 and 4, as I always say. The consensus... Oh, we need to cover Duke Nukem Forever one day. Yeah, once I find the development. Yeah, the development. Anyway, what I was saying. The consensus reads, while it isn't quite as much fun as its predecessor, the Lego Movie 2, the second part, fits neatly into an animated all-ages franchise with heart and humor to spare. Are you sure? Anyway. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 65 out of 100 based on 52 critics, 0 to 50 and 4, indicating generally unfavorable reviews. Or generally favorable. I can't read. By the way, I don't know. I'm not a huge Duke Nukem person, so I don't know what the hell any of that just meant. I don't know what any of that just meant. I'm not saying that to be rude. Lego Movie 2 set to, yeah. I don't know shit about Duke Nukem, so I don't know what any of that just meant. But anyway. But, okay, noted. I don't know how to mod games. Anyway. Audiences polled by Cinema... Yes, anyway. Audiences polled by Audiences polled by Cinema Score, gave the film an average grade of A- on an A+ to F scale. Lower than the Lego Movie's A. So that should tell you something. And Post Tracks rated it 4 out of 5 stars. Social Media Monitor, Relish Mix, noted their online responses were great. Burp counter 1. So you can tell the reactions to this movie are quite divisive. Oh, I thought of another movie for you to never review. Oh, if it's never review, good. Anyway. Jesse Hessinger of the AV Club called the film lovable, giving it a grade of B and writing, like Brad Bird's recent Incredibles 2, it follows up a dazzling animated original, all the more dazzling for earning that designation despite Showgirls, because all it is Elizabeth Berkley's tits. It's a yep. Now that I know that, I'm never reviewing it. Now that I know, never reviewing it. We'll put that in the never box. Anyway, designation, despite being based on a toy line, with some big ideas that don't cohere with the same streamlined magic as its predecessor. I love how that review was basically the equivalent of saying, well, I liked it, but... Yolanda Machado of The Wrap commended the screenplay and directing and wrote that the film expands on the original's premise, adding new worlds and characters to the growing LEGO universe, while also crafting a story that is timely, inventive, hilarious, and perfect for all ages. Okay. I liked it, but lists that many things they don't like. Yeah, that's a number I can't read. But anyway. Excuse me. Chris Nashawati. I probably disrespected somebody's entire gene pool. Oh. That chick was Jessie on Saved by the Bell. I would not know that. I've never seen Saved by the Bell. But anyway. Chris Nashawati of Entertainment Weekly says that while it was better than most other films, it did not recapture the surprise of the first film, saying everything is still awesome, just a little bit less so. Now that's just the polite version of what I'm thinking. Anyway, for the Hollywood Reporter, Michael Retschaffen wrote that the film brought little that's fresh or funny to the interlocking brick table, despite boasting a script penned by originators Phil and Chris. What are you thinking? Stay tuned. Also, stay tuned for... I don't know. Okay, anyway. Okay, this is the last one I'm reading. Betsy Bozdeck of Common Sense Media gave the film 4 stars out of 5, writing that it's not quite the lightning in a bottle that its predecessor was, but this entertaining sequel is definitely better than the average kids movie. Good morning, goddamn, or I meant to say good evening, not good morning. Also, goddamn it. Anyway, welcome. We're talking Lego Movie 2. I assume you were in the background the entire time because I saw both counts up there rise to 3, and I just didn't think to say anything. Son of a bitch. Anyway, back to movie. Okay, let me scroll back up here. But what about home video? Well, Warner Bros. Home Entertainment released the Lego Movie 2, the second... Yes, I know. I didn't mean that in a bad way. I should go ahead and clarify. I didn't mean that in a bad way. It's just the number of incidents lately is kind of taking away my... I'm a lurker. That did not sound any better. In fact, Lil Bill Likes Watching actually sounded less bad. Now, anyway, Warner Bros. Home Entertainment released the Lego Movie 2, the second part, for digital download on April 16th, 2019. That's because Jesus Christ, yes. Anyway. And on DVD and And then it released on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Ultra HD on May 7th. Yes. And that's basically it. It was only released pretty much the one time. More like a void, whatever. I don't know I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, here we go. That was not on purpose, but I like the newest video you posted. Thank you. Anyway, here's the DVD, of course. Well done. Thank you. Anyway, yes, the cunt. Plain and simple. Lego Movie 2, the second part. Big empty space because the DVD looks like, well, this is Warner Bros. We're talking about. Also, big empty space because for some reason Warner Bros. Thinks their titles look better left aligned instead of centered. Okay, anyway. The back. Your singular bonus feature is they come in pieces assembling the Lego Movie 2. That is it. I really thought tonight was going to be They Live. I never said tonight was going to be They Live. I'm not trying to sound snappy. I just never said... I never said it was... Pretty soon it'll be They... No, but I know I might sound a little snappy, but I'm not trying to be. I never did... Or Breakfast Club. I never said that tonight was going to be either of those. Nor did I imply it. I just said that I would get to them at some point, but I never said tonight. Just gonna assume that came off, but anyway. I once did a school assignment. Anyway, the disc. Very basic, very simple. Better than nothing, though. And, of course, inside... Shit. I would like to put... CKY. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Anyway. And of course inside we have an ad for the Legoland Parks. And an ad for the Lego Movie Maker app. And an ad for Lego sets on the back. Okay. But seriously, I don't know what CKY is. I really don't mean this to sound rude. I know it sounds rude, but I don't know what that is. Like, you don't give me the... You don't know what that is. I feel sorry for it. I just don't know what that is. Like, you don't hit me... Lego Movie 2. Okay. So, the Lego Movie 2. I guess we can just go... Oh, I did read. To you, Sylv, I did... Oh, gee. What have your parents taught you? My parents have never even mentioned that. I don't know what CKY is. No, like, seriously, I've never heard of it. No one's ever talked about it. Just stop, please. Just stop. Anyway. Lego Movie 2. Anyway. Okay, so I guess I should provide... So I guess I should just provide a bit of context before I actually get to the review. I saw Lego Movie 1 in theaters. Was Mom a hit? I don't know. I'm trying to talk about the Lego Movie 2, the second part, not my mother. I do like answering questions, for sure. I just don't like going... God damn it. Anyway, Lego Movie 2, the second part. Anyway, I was wondering when this would become not fun for me. Anyway. Okay, but... how crazy is it that I'm the... Yeah, actually, how crazy is it? You used to be... Anyway, I'm just going to ignore all of this and just act like nobody's here right now. Anyway, I appreciate your company, but I'm just going to keep going as if I'm talking to an audience of 0. Anyway, So I should add the bit of context. I saw Lego Movie 1 in theaters. I saw Lego Batman in theaters. Literally zero recollection if I saw Ninjago or not, but then again, Ninjago is a very forgettable movie, so Jesus Christ. But either way, so obviously I was going to see Lego Movie 2 in theaters. Anyway, I saw it. I'm pretty sure opening evening, not opening night, but opening evening, February 2019. And I liked it well enough. My family would be a good anyway. And I liked it well enough. And then I just kind of forgot about it. Like, yep, you hit the nail on the head with that one. Anyway, but I liked it well enough. But then I just forgot about it. Like, no reason why. It just happened. That happens with a lot of movies for me. Like, I'll watch them and I just kind of forget about it. And then I might revisit it after a while. Oh, Jesus Christ. She could review cool. Okay. Anyway. Also, cool movies. That is the most okay boomer shit I have ever read. Elektra is the movie you'll forget about. Yep, pretty much. Anyway, but what I was saying. But anyway, I saw Lego Movie 2 when it came out in theaters. And I just kind of forgot about it after a while. Anyway, but what I was saying. But yeah, over the years though, I would rewatch Lego Movie 2. Not often, but on occasion. And God damn it. Have you ever thought about going goth? Let me talk about the movie. Anyway. But over but over the years I would rewatch it. And I don't know. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say. Only with the most recent rewatch that I had of this movie, each rewatch would make you dislike. Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Anyway, but yeah, each rewatch, I wasn't really sure at first, but after a while, it kind of started to click. And yeah, let's just say Lego Movie 2, maybe not the worst sequel I've ever seen, but it's a weak sequel. It's a weak sequel. Like, okay. Like I said, the Lego Movie 1 was a great movie. Like, I could sing my praises about it all night, but I'd rather not waste too much time on it. But it's just very funny, very... Okay. But it's just very funny, very well written. It's just a great movie all around. And, the more I look at it, the more I think, how can you top this? Turns out you can't really top it. You can just try and fail miserably. Which is too bad because Lego Movie 2 had all the right pieces, no pun intended, for an interesting story. But they just found so many different ways to botch that story. So, first off, the setting. Or rather, let me explain the setting. So it picks up where the first Lego movie left off. In the real world with Finn and Dad, in the basement, and then, your sister gets to come down here and play too, And, then we're treated in the Lego world to the Duplo characters wreaking havoc. Okay, that's a fun way to contextualize the brother-sister dynamic. And then, fast forward 5 years later. Now the characters live in a post-apocalyptic setting. Cheesy, yeah, but it's very creative. And I say it's creative because when you consider that Finn, the human child, in the real world, would be a teenage boy by the time Lego Movie 2 takes place 5 years later, then yeah, the switch from, normal city to post-apocalypse makes perfect sense if you consider, like, yeah, a teenage boy would be into stories like that. So they'd want their toys to reflect that. And then the sister, of course, is more sci-fi but fun-loving. Sci-fi, colorful, edgy teenage phase, Emmett. Funny you say that. The movie literally does that. Anyway. Oh, and I just said that. That is probably the movie's biggest problem, but I'll save it for last. Anyway. But like I said, the first few minutes of the movie start off okay. Not great, but okay. You get like that flashback at the start, then 5 years later, and we're in Apocalypseburg, as it's called now. And it's kind of slow, but at first you're like, okay, this isn't half bad. And then when the sister enters the picture, it just becomes stupid. Like, big stupid. To the point where it's not even the funny kind of stupid. Like, when something is, like, so stupid that it loops back to being funny, not even that. And that brings me to my big three problems with Lego Movie 2. My big three. My first major problem is it feels very childish. Now, I get that Lego Movie 1, its whole, big reveal was that this was all just the imagination of Finn, a human child, playing with his dad's Lego toys. But it works well because the plot is exactly what a little kid playing with their toys would come up with. So, of course it's going to be cheesy. Of course it's going to be punny. Just of course. Yeah, hey Spider, I know. I'm just trying to ignore all of this. What did I walk into? Hell on earth. Anyway, but the Lego Movie childish, you don't say. God damn it, I said the wrong goddamn thing. Can you repeat that part? If you mean me. Oh my god. If you mean me. Oh wait, never mind. I see what I missed. Never mind. I see what I missed. Yeah. Oh yeah. You just said want it to be more adult. But yeah, that was okay. Anyway, what I was trying to say. But Lego Movie, but thing is, if Finn is more mature now and older, shouldn't the movie reflect that? And that brings me to my second I'm sorry, Dave. Anyway, that brings me to my second problem. Wordplay. Now, yes, the first Lego movie had a lot of that cheesy wordplay. Craggle is just crazy glue with some of the letters missing. All the artifacts have just ridiculous names that I'm too asked to remember right now. But the thing is, again, one, this is a kid playing with their dad's toys. And two, it's at least clever. It's at least funny. And there's so much going on in the film that you really don't notice it at first. Lego Movie 2, on the other hand, every other goddamn line out of these characters' mouths is a pun. The systar system. Undar of the Dryar system. The Stairgate. Armageddon. Like, shut up. Stop. This is the Lego Movie 2, not Facebook. This is shit my mom would... What? This is confusing. I need to hit the... I'm not even talking about the plot. Also, what the fuck about what I'm saying is confusing? Oh. Imagination of thin, a human shot took me off guard. Just sounds like they wanted my... For once, I can't get mad at that response. That's appropriate, Dave. Now back to you. Oh. Because for a sec, I thought you were talking about Adventure Time. Well, Will up here was talking about Adventure Time, so I don't blame you. Anyway, Lego Movie, that's what I'm talking about. Back to Lego Movie 2, but... Anyway, but what... So did I... Oh, God, you people don't listen. I never got into Adventure Time. I didn't either. Anyway, also, I love how I made it very clear what the fuck I was talking about, and you all collectively thought I was talking about Adventure Time. You don't listen. Anyway. But, oh. What about regular? Anyway, regular show, another time, stay tuned. Anyway, but back to the Lego Movie. Fucking shit, but... Oh my god. Oh. Dave said it, not... Whatever. Oh my god. I was more of a... Oh, timing. Anyway, but what I was saying. Oh. Sanjay and Craig, a.k.a. my least favorite Nick show. You managed to confuse the whole... How? I didn't. Let's just shut the fuck up and move on. Again, acting like none of you are here right now. But... oh. Breadwinners is another one that was so annoying. Okay, that I can agree. Anyway, Lego Movie 2's other reason... Oh, god damn it. I can't believe some of the stuff Nick aired. I can't either. Lego! Anyway. Ironically, Lego Dimensions proves God is not real. Anyway. Okay, the other reasons why Lego Movie 2 just doesn't succeed... Okay. This is the big... I don't care for Lego 2. I don't blame you. In fact, tomorrow night, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about because the more times I get interrupted, the more interest I lose in the topics. It's getting to the point now where I don't want to bother. Gravity Falls. Well, see, that's a good topic, but the only thing is, you would be the only one who would care. Nobody else in the room would show up. So, ironically, yeah, it would be chill, but at that point, why make it a live stream? Anyway, but yes, stay tuned. I would. Oh, God. Anyway, but... Dick. Lego Movie 2. Lava Chicken. Yep, Steve. Funny. I never seen any of this stuff. Then why do you show up? Anyway, but... Lego Movie 2. Also, any of this stuff. Could you not be asked to do 2 to 3 seconds of research? Just so you at least have some prior knowledge? Jesus Christ. Oh. Well, I'm here every night to support. Well, I mean, as long as you're supporting, that's nice. Counter 4. Anyway. But... Anyway, my big problem, though, with Lego Movie 2 has nothing to do with puns. Has nothing to do with anything at all. My biggest problem is actually kind of 2 problems in one. My first major problem, really, is the fact that it doesn't bring anything new to the table. I mean, 5 years later... You would think, okay, so obviously a lot has changed in 5 years, but other than the setting, not really. Emmett is still a lovable goofball. Wildstyle / Lucy is still the fairly serious voice of reason type and master builder. Batman is still Batman. Like, nothing's really changed. It doesn't feel like a follow-up. It doesn't feel like an evolution. It just feels like the Lego movie again. And on top of that, my biggest problem with the Lego movie 2, overcomplication. Not another Lego, pretty much. Anyway, overcomplication. That is my big problem. Overcomplication. Now, Lego Movie 1, thought someone was at the door. Anyway, Lego Movie 1, it has a good story. And although there's layers to that story, it's a simple story. It's a story that you can easily follow and keep track of. Lego Movie 2, on the other hand, takes what should otherwise be a very simple story and overcomplicates the fuck out of it. Okay, first off, you start in Apocalypseburg with Emmett, Lucy, and everyone, and you spend a good chunk of the movie there. But then just out of the blue, you bring in General Mayhem, who wasn't really set up prior. Oops. And then suddenly, oh, let's just take all of Emmett's friends away and bring them to the systar system. And why? Oh yeah, and that's the thing. The side characters are absent for most of the movie, which is kind of stupid because I'd argue they were the best part of that first movie, besides that first movie. I was in the middle of a tangent. I think you said this film contradicts the first. It does kind of contradict it. Also, Fight Club, stay tuned. Also, when will Dave? I don't know. Let me finish. Anyway. How does it contradict? Well, I'll get to that shortly. Anyway. But Emmett's friends were kind of the best part of that first movie. So to basically sideline them is kind of stupid, not gonna lie. And then on top of that, other than Lucy / Wildstyle, Unikitty sideline, yeah, even her. And the thing is, other than Lucy / Wildstyle, the characters aren't really given anything to do other than, I don't know, like, it just bothers me. But the film also contradicts the logic of the first movie in a pretty major way. Let me explain. You see, Lego Movie 1 establishes that the entire movie, up to this point, was just the imagination of a kid playing with their dad's Lego toys. That's all it was up to this point. And while sure, Emmett does come to life briefly in the real world, you can easily write that off as the kid either imagining it or even just a plot thing. Like, okay, we need a way for Emmett to be back in the world, narratively speaking. Let's just use this excuse. It's quick, but it doesn't raise any alarm bells. It just tells you, oh, this is make-believe with only one weird occurrence. And even then, it's not really made clear if Emmett coming to life in the first movie is literal or not. Lego Movie 2, on the other hand, there are several instances in which the minifigures come to life in the real world. In fact, this movie spends so much time in the real world that it really has me wondering why they even made this a Lego Movie sequel when you're going to cut back and forth so much from the Lego world to the real world. Okay, yep, there's the line. Anyway, But the worst part about it, stay with me because even I don't get it. So the antagonist of the film, the twist villain, ooh. Anyway, ooh, is also I wonder myself. Funny how you assume what I'm talking about is damn fake. Anyway, the twist villain, ooh, is Rex Dangervest, which, okay, weakest and most predictable twist villain ever because, yeah, the fact that both he and Emmett are both voiced by Chris Pratt makes the twist that Rex is a future Emmett so goddamn predictable. Like, that's not even a twist at that point. That's just a fuck you. Anyway, but what makes it work? Jesus. You could be making it all up. Are you fucking stupid? Okay. I literally have the DVD right here. Bitch, the fuck do you think I... Making it up. I mean, to be fair, though, the plot of this movie is a goddamn clusterfuck, so I don't blame you. Molly from Home Alone 4 has been dethroned. Yes. Anyway. But also I think Spider left. I think Spider's gone. Anyway. Okay, but here's what bothers me. Going back to Lego Movie 1, I said that the whole plot twist was that it was all imagination. It was all play pretend. It was all toys. I mean, granted, it's toys the whole movie up to that point, but literally speaking, just a kid playing with toys. It's a very effective reveal, and it works well. And actually, from a writing perspective, it makes perfect sense, because if you reveal that it's just a kid playing with their toys, then the plot doesn't have to make any sense. You can be as silly as you want. Lego Movie 2 feels like they took the wrong lessons from that philosophy and just fucking ran with it. So earlier in the movie, Finn says to his sister Bianca, I'm doing a time travel story where, and it's cut off, but that would say, oh, so just like the first movie, this is play pretend, you know, nothing's really happening. But then later in the movie, Emmett comes to life in the real world and builds a functioning time machine out of Lego pieces and travels from the present in the real world to the past in the Lego world and then back to the future in the real world. So now the ship has just materialized in the real world, and now there's two minifigures in the real... Yeah, they just do that, and they expect you to think it makes any god-fucking-damn sense at all. And then the movie... Oh, no. It gets even worse, by the way. It gets even worse. Later in the movie, Emmett and Rex, or Emmett and himself, have a fight under the dryer, and even though this was shown to be completely literal earlier, including their fight, Rex then said, or one of them says, this is all in the imagination and subconscious of an adolescent. And it's like, bitch, no it isn't. You just showed earlier that this really happened. Like, you showed Finn seeing the fist ship appear and... Are you stupid? Yes, you are. So yeah, this movie is kind of a goddamn clusterfuck. It kind of forgets that this is supposed to be when a movie contradicts itself. Yeah, but, yeah, so basically, this one kind of forgets, Too Long Didn't Read. This movie basically forgets that it's supposed to be kids playing with toys and kind of runs with the playing with part, but then doesn't really understand the rest. Oh yeah, and my other problem with the movie, though maybe not as big of a problem, but it still pisses me off greatly, It's also revealed that, oh, kids play with toys, but they also don't play. Yeah, basically. Anyway. But, I mean, if you're gonna do this bullshit, you might as well just do what the Lego video games do and just not even narratively have them be toys. Anyway, but, what I was saying. But, the other thing about Lego Movie 2 that pisses me off so bad is it is also revealed that Queen Whatever I Wanna Be, oh yeah, there's another pun, is actually not the villain at all. She just wanted to play. Or rather, she wanted to marry Batman, which in the real world means that Bianca just wanted to play with Finn. Wow! The moral of your story is please play with your siblings. Wow! What a creative lesson to teach your child viewers who have most certainly grown up by this point and would probably be wanting to learn different lessons, like, case in point, don't fuck up your life. More like marry your... Don't. But, yeah. What are you doing, big... Shut up. But, yeah, oh, yeah, and can I just say as well, because I just described how confusing... For how confusing and overcomplicated this movie's plot is, the lesson within it is simple. Finn grows distant from Bianca, his younger sister. Bianca just wants to play with Finn via the power of Lego brand products. And ultimately, after several arguments and disagreements, Finn comes to learn, okay, I shouldn't be so mean to my sister, we should play together. But look at that. When you put it that way, that is a simple lesson. Alright, what the hell did you say? It's too... How'd you get stuck in... Shut up. Anyway, but... When you put it that way, that's a simple lesson. That's a simple moral. But the way the movie goes about telling it is so fucking and obnoxiously overcomplicated that it really just makes me wonder, why bother? Steve, help me, I'm stuck. Bad to the bone. Or, yeah, anyway. But, anyway. But yeah, Lego Movie 2. Oh yeah, and the reason, I totally forgot, but the reason why Queen Whatever I Wanna Be not being the actual villain drives me insane is because earlier in the movie, she literally manipulates the character. Like, there's clear manipulation and gaslighting tactics in her song earlier in the movie that tell you, like, yeah, I'm a fucking villain, but no, just backpedal on that. Just, act as if, like, it's all fine. Anyway, brief break from the madness, it's time for the funny image. But first, let's secure the funny image. Jeez Louise. Alright, hang on, what'd you say? It's like Catherine Tate in The Office. She all of a sudden turns good after being a... You know what? That fits perfectly. That fits perfectly. I mean, Nelly is her... Nelly. I can't read. Nelly is her character name, but still. Anyway, the funny image. Jurniture. Take a seat on the jurniture. Take a seat on that fine ass jurniture, my beloved. Yep. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, back to the movie. But yeah, it's like, you're evil. Like, you're clearly evil, but the movie just acts as if, like, no, I wasn't evil. Here's a Scott the Woz quote that fits perfectly. I wasn't trying to kill you, I'm just making eggs. There is a Scott the Woz quote that fits perfectly. I'm not trying to kill you, I'm just making eggs. Like, literally. It fits to a T. The amount of Scott the Woz quotes I can apply to everyday situations about myself and others is astronomically fucked up. Hello Kitty, shut up. Anyway, but oh my god. But anyway, Fortnite battle. Shut up. But anyway, but just the reveal that. Anyway, but yeah, Lego Movie 2 is an overcomplicated, overly written, over-explained mess. It feels like you showed somebody the Lego Movie from afar, and then that person said, okay, I got this, without actually understanding what made the first movie work in the first place. Oh, and then on top of that, this movie is also a musical for some reason. For some reason. I don't know. I guess they only had 30 minutes of material. Also, this movie feels like it goes on for a goddamn eternity. For comparison, the Lego Movie, the first one, was only around an hour and 40 minutes length. Lego Movie 2 is an hour and 47 minutes. So it's only 7 minutes longer. But you feel, and I mean feel, every one of those 7 minutes. It feels like it lasts forever. Musicals always seem gay. I don't know why I bother, but seriously though, like... But still, like... I don't know, like... I'm sure it makes sense what I'm conveying, but Lego Movie 2 is just not a good sequel. It really feels like they tried to just recapture the success of the first movie, but instead ended up creating a worse version of it. Best part, you know what? In this instance, that's actually a completely appropriate response. Yep, that for once, that's actually an appropriate response. I will say, though, on the topic of the end, there is one thing I do like. I do like that the film has a conclusive ending. I do like that. They could have easily ended it on a cliffhanger like the first movie did, but no. It does have like a conclusive, for sure skis ending. Which is perfect because, going back to the Wikipedia page for the movie, give me a second. Oh, at least until Lego Movie 3 comes. Anyway, going back to the film's Wikipedia page, let me scroll down here to future. Possible sequel. On February 7th, 2019, a day before the release, in an interview with MoviePhone, Chris Pratt expressed his idea for a potential third film titled The Lego Movie 3, The Third Part. Now, before I continue, I do need to clarify, I'm not saying this to be cynical, but I do doubt that we'll be getting a true third movie, for a pretty good reason. And no, it's not as simple as people don't like it. It's not that simple. You see, following how the film did in theaters financially, Warner Bros. Allowed the film rights with Lego to expire by fall 2019. Although Lego Movie 2 sets continue to remain available just a bit longer. On December 19th, 2019, Universal Pictures entered early negotiations with Lego for a new first look deal. Dan Lin, who produced the previous films for Warner Bros., was expected to remain as a producer through his company Rideback. And finally, on April 23rd, 2020, the deal with Universal was set for a 5-year film deal with plans to include its own franchises and characters in its run of Lego films, while Universal will develop and distribute future films in the series. Warner Bros., listen to this, Warner Bros. Will retain both the distribution rights to those previous 4 movies, as well as all original characters and properties. Hang on. And that never happened because COVID. Incorrect. Piece by Piece. Piece by Piece. That was a Lego movie from Universal that came out in 2024. So yes, the Universal Lego deal did come to fruition. Anyway, but there you go. Universal has the Lego film rights, but Warner Bros. Owns the rights to all of the characters, locations, elements, etc. So, if Universal were to make a Lego Movie 3 in the true sense, they'd have to pay up to Warner Bros. To use all those characters. And that can prove to be kind of an expensive feat. They would have to do a joint deal. Exactly. Which is not out of the realm of possibility, because Universal and Warner Bros. Already have a joint deal currently. Yeah, here's a good example. Both of their releases on physical disc are put out by a branch called Studio Distribution Services, which is a joint venture between Warner Bros. And Universal. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility for the two to make some kind of deal. The problem, though, is would it be worth it? Because it's been quite some time now since Lego Movie 2. And it's unknown if audiences would want to see those characters again. Plus, while yeah, probably not, but they'll do it. I mean, you never know. They could not. I'm not here to say which will happen for sure. I'm not here to say they will, but I'm not here to say they won't. But something I do doubt. Let me just pick this up off the floor. Okay. Something that I do doubt, however, is licensed characters. Yes, I'm saying we won't be excited, but they'll still, well, yeah. But something I do doubt is the usage of licensed characters. Because the Lego Movie was a big 50-50. Yeah, you had characters like Emmett, Wildstyle, Metalbeard, Unikitty, etc., who were made for the Lego Movie. But in addition, you also had Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Gandalf, Milhouse, Michelangelo, various NBA players. I will not be excited, not now, not ever. Okay, cynical Alan. Please laugh. Anyway, but I love just... Okay, yeah, sorry, I won't. But that was some cynical bullshit from Dave. That was cynical, you can't... Okay, I just said I won't be like that, but you can't deny that was a very cynical thing to say. Anyway, but... What I was saying, though... Apologies for that little moment, but what I was saying. But... It was a 50-50 of original... yeah, Twu even. But it was a big 50-50 of cynical... Nice Floridian slip, me. That was completely on accident. Anyway, I gotta go to bed soon. Anyway, I want to sleep in forever. Anyway, but it was a 50-50 of original and licensed characters. Now, again, I feel like they'll probably form some kind of joint deal, but I don't see any of the license... Like, if they do Lego Movie 3, I don't see Batman return. Ah. But if I... Fuck. Okay, but if they do Lego Movie 3 with all those same characters under a Universal Warner deal, I don't see, like, Batman returning. I don't see Gandalf returning. I don't see any of the licensed characters from the Warner archives returning. You know, it's pretty likely we'll see, like, Emmett, Wildstyle, etc., but not, you know, Batman, etc. I don't know. But in conclusion, Lego Movie 2 could have worked. How do I think? I really don't know. I can't really put it into words. But I think it could have worked, and I think it had potential. The pieces, again, no pun intended, were there. But they haven't really been clicked into place properly. Someone hasn't really done their math correctly, you could say. But everything was adding up. It just fell short. It fell flat. And I think the less than stellar fan reception, combined with the box office disappointment, kind of made Warner Bros. And Lego... Oh, wait. It was like if you used Lego, but ran out and had to use Mega Bloks to fill in the... Perfect analogy. Perfect analogy. Perfect analogy. It feels like they were... Yes, burp counter 4. Anyway, but it's like they had to fill in the pieces. And not successfully. But, in conclusion, I think the failure of the Lego Movie 2 caused Warner Bros. And Lego to rethink some things. And honestly, I feel like their mistake was making this a franchise. Don't get me wrong, I think there's big potential, but the Lego Movie truly was a lightning in a bottle moment. Nobody thought it was going to work, but it absolutely worked. But alas, every subsequent film, Batman Ninjago, this one, just did worse and worse. And honestly, I think the Lego Movie was probably best left alone. It should have been just a one and done. We rate it 3 out of 10. I'll give it a 3.5. Why 0.5? Batman. Batman is the only part of this movie that is actually funny, for how little he's in it. But what if I told you it gets even fucking worse? What if I told you it gets even fucking worse? Yep, I'm talking about the game now. So, yeah, just like its predecessor. Oh yeah, I also have the Lego Ninjago movie video game now, but I haven't found time to play it yet. I'll probably cover that when we cover the Ninjago TV show. But anyway, hang on a second. Okay. The Lego Movie 2 game is considered the worst. Yep. Anyway, the Lego Movie 2 video game was developed by Traveller's Tales, like all of them up to this point, and was published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment under the WB Games banner. Anyway, it was released on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, and Mac OS. Yes. Anyway, it released in North America on February 26, 2019. So just a couple of weeks after the movie. Anyway, so the Lego Movie 2 video game is interesting because unlike previous Lego games, which were puzzle-based action beat-em-ups, Lego Movie 2 borrows elements from Lego Worlds, which was basically a Lego clone of Minecraft, if you're wondering. But it's not a creative game like Lego Worlds. There are 6 levels and all of them in the open world. Yes, anyway. But it's not a creative game like Lego Worlds. Rather, it takes the general gameplay of Worlds and tries to craft a traditional game out of it. Also loot boxes. Yep, that too. Anyway, has new additional characters and refined combat mechanics, as well as those from the first game. Worlds and characters from both films are featured in the game. Anyway, as I said, yeah, rather than following the traditional Lego game formula, it just follows the Lego Worlds formula. So you go around the world collecting pieces, collecting bricks to build what you need to progress. Now, in theory, that's not a bad idea. In fact, yeah, and it just didn't work. Yeah, but truth be told, in theory, it's not a bad idea. I think if it were executed correctly, or if they combined it with the traditional gameplay, it might have worked. Like, if you had these segments throughout the game, not as a focus, but throughout the game, like sporadically, and you had, like, the whole thing be the traditional style, then that could have been pretty good. Instead, however, well, what you just said. It just didn't work. Yep. And the other problem with the Lego Movie 2 video game, again, comparing it to other Lego video games, starting with like, I want to say it was like Lego Batman 2 that started this, but anyway, other Lego video games up to this point have a big open hub world that then brings you to the different levels. Some are bigger than others. Lego Batman 2. Anyway, some are bigger than others, but for the most part, that's how it was up to this point. And you usually had a lot of levels, too. Lego Movie 2 spits in the face of this, and again, reading verbatim what you said, there are 6 levels, and all of them in the open world. Yep. Now, Scott the Woz did a video on, can you please compare it to Excitebike? Problem, I've never played Excitebike, and plus, that's not even a comparison. The Lego games are nothing like Excitebike, so what the fuck is that comparison? I'm not trying to sound rude, but my nigga, that's like saying 9/11 is comparable to a loaf of bread. Lego Movie 2 is the equivalent of Lego Batman 3, but at least Lego Batman 3 had a great Indeed. Lego Batman 3 had a lot of problems, yeah, but it still had a great roster of characters. And, you know, the normal gameplay style. Lego Movie 2, on the other hand, you know what? This says it best. this is what I think went wrong with Lego Movie 2 video game. If the Lego Movie 2 itself went wrong in every other sense, Lego Movie 2 video game just went wrong on a conceptual, executional level. Again, I think it could have worked, but what it feels like happened. What it feels like is it just went wrong all along, yeah. But what it feels like went wrong is, okay, let me put this scenario. This says it best. What it feels like went wrong was, oh, the wild card has arrived. What we rambling on today? Oh, you're really late. I was rambling on the Lego Movie 2, but then we're talking the Lego Movie 2 video game. Oh wait, what does it say? But you're really late, Dean. I apologize. Now what does it say? Rug Deagle, I don't know how you... When ain't I? Not like YouTube announces you, but... Well, you're not wrong. Sucks to be me, I guess. Don't beat yourself up like that. I say as somebody who beats themselves up all the time. Lego good. Not this one, though. Anyway. Rug Deagle, I think that's how you say that, is a Lego game enthusiast and is always positive, but you can tell he struggles to... I'll have to look that up later. I don't know the guy, but I'll have to look that up. But anyway, this says the problem with the Lego Movie 2 video game. It feels like Warner Bros. And Lego went up... He's a Lego game YouTuber. Okay, anyway. It feels like Warner Bros. And Lego went up to Traveler's Tales and said, hey, we need a Lego Movie 2 video game. But then Traveler's Tales said, shit, we didn't make anything. So at first they started work on a Lego Worlds DLC, but then they just said, you know what, fuck it. They're already asking us to do something we have no time to do, so let's just make a half-assed game. That is what it feels like. It feels like Lego Movie 2 was glorified... It feels like the Lego Movie 2 video game was glorified downloadable content that then got stretched out to being a feature-length, I guess, video game. Also, it's a 6-hour game. Well, the Lego Ninjago movie video game is a 3-hour game. That's pathetic. Like I said, the Ninjago movie game is a 3-hour game. But, in its defense, it started development as a story pack for Lego Dimensions. And the Dimensions story packs are 3 hours, so... Okay, hang on. Didn't play it, me and the kid. Okay, so now I know you have a kid. Have been playing Lego City Undercover, and yeah, that's cool. That's wholesome. Also, let me look. You're going to stay up a bit later, seeing as I arrived late. Seems only fair. You didn't let me know first. Well, I don't know how to let you know. Not trying to sound rude. Just, also, at least the Ninjago movie game is good. True. Anyway, but told you before I had a kid, you just wasn't attentive. I don't remember. I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm not gaslighting. I just don't remember that being... Okay. I'm not being rude. I'm not being sarcastic. I just genuinely don't remember that being mentioned. You're the kid's weird pet. Yeah, but like, I'm being serious. I don't remember that being mentioned. Daddy can... Okay, anyway, but... Okay, I can't stay up too late, but I guess we'll... Anyway, I can't stay up too late. Remember, I'm only human. But I guess I can say this. All good, pretty sure the first time I was in, I said... Anyway, what I was saying. But... Lego Movie 2 video game. Is it good? Oh... Do you have an appointment in the... No, I just simply put, I just cohabitating more than... Oh. I don't have any appointment. I don't have school. I don't have work. I just, simply put, need to go to bed soon. Anyway, what I was saying. But also, nice lore dump. I'm not being sarcastic. Just nice lore dump. Nice to know. Anyway, but... Now, I can't stay up too late. Remember, seems like you're getting tired. Not the case at all. I'm just tired in general. Not tired of all of you, just tired in general. Well, she'd like a wedding at some point. It's just not like high on the... That's nice. Anyway, but what I was saying. But the Lego Movie 2... You should sleep longer in the morning to concept. Anyway, but the Lego Movie 2 video game. It's funny, the Lego Movie game went wrong in every other... Or the Lego Movie 2, damn it, to concept... Fuck my... Oh, thank God. I was like, to concept what? Like, we all need to go to bed. Oh my God. Jesus fuck. Yes. Oh, God. Yeah, eat your... Anyway, but... Yeah. Oh, I got up at 6 a.m. Proud to say I'll do the same. I get up later than that, and I'm still tired as fuck by the end of the day. I am here at 1:30 still hanging with... I can't stay up till 1:30, unfortunately. Well, I can stay up till 1:30. I just can't stay up on this show. Coffee. Got me. Yeah, especially because my battery life is getting pretty low, so... but I guess yeah, fuck. But the, Joe Biden, but the Lego Movie 2 video game. If the Lego Movie 2 itself went wrong in every other sense, then the Lego Movie 2 game just went wrong in the sense that it's just bland. Also, I played it recently, and my God, I can never play it for longer than a minute. In fact, most of my time I do spend playing it, I just kind of fuck around before turning it off. Okay, Lego Movie 2 video game gets a 1. I'm inclined to give it a 1 because there's nothing... There really isn't. Like, other than it exists, other than it exists, there's seriously nothing to it. It just exists. I guess it's fine, but that's all it is. Just fine. Actually, why am I going to sit down? Because I'm about to finish the show. I was going to sit down to give a tiny little tangent, but no. Oh, also we learned that sequels can get... Well, not all sequels. Some sequels can be good, but sometimes they're pretty unnecessary. In this case, though, this is a sequel that can get fun. He's separating us on purpose by it. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's just... It's getting a little late at night. I'm getting a little tired. And I have, let me look here, 27% battery. Oh, let's say. I get separation anxiety. What if I miss you all next time? I can't tell. Okay. Yeah, no, I was going to say something like just as a theory, but it sounded kind of insensitive, so. Stream earlier, hang on. Stream earlier, longer stream too, so 40, okay. Slow the hell down. Okay, longer, I cannot guarantee. I cannot guarantee. Earlier, okay. Write this down, Dean. Write it down. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I do start around 10:45 instead of 11, but that's only on occasion. It entirely depends on my schedule. And then on Saturdays, I start EST, right? Yep, EST. That's 10, yes, EST. What I was saying. And then on Saturdays, I typically start earlier in the night around 9, 9:30, 9:45, around that time frame. Again, just write that down. Write that down and you'll remember. Again, it's not always consistent, but it's what I strive for. So write it down in your notes or whatever you might use. Write it on your forehead if you want. Also, I'm not trying to sound insensitive when I say this, but I can't tell if separation anxiety was a joke or not when you make in the official. Not decided. Anyway, of course it was. I'm an adult. Adulting in it. Will. I never promised that. Okay. I was saying that to you, Dave. I never. Okay, anyway, I'm getting a little tired. So, but just remember the schedule that I described. Just remember, all right? Just remember. All right, but I gotta go. It's getting a little late. It's 12:33 a.m. EST. I don't go to bed, or I go to bed, late, but I typically try not to get the show late, is what I'm saying. But yeah, what we learned tonight, we learned that sequels can get fucked. Yeah, what did we learn? We learned that sequels can get fucked unless it's the rare good sequel that, is actually quite good. Also, Dean, I apologize for you showing up late. Hopefully you can show up next time, in full. We learned that Jesus enjoys separating people by leaving Earth. Not what I implied at all, I'm just sleepy. I'm starting to wind down. But we learned a lot of things. Also, we learned that video games can be nothing at times. Also, Mother After Dark is coming soon to a bed near you. Jesus didn't sleep. Okay, coming soon to a bed near you, but will I elaborate further? Nope. Because I've said enough. But for now, that's all the time that's all the time we have for tonight. But always remember, eat your cereal, go to bed, to be continued. God made you special and he loves you very much. If you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Good night. WOD coming soon. Good night and have a day.